second to last chapter of Revelation. And this is the good stuff. I hope that you feel accomplished as we come to the end of this plan, and we are going out with a bang. These last few chapters of Revelation and the last chapters of the whole Bible are beautiful. They make me emotional. Alex and I, as we were writing the email for this week, both felt a little bit weepy, a little bit teary, talking about 21 and 22. Because the picture of hope that John gives us is one of the most stunning things I think that exists in the whole Bible. I think when you read 21 and 22, you will agree with me that the best way to describe these chapters is that they're a kaleidoscope of images. John's not speaking very literally, right? We should take this no more literally than we take the beast or the dragon. He's evoking feelings and pointing to inexpressible realities and using stories and pictures from the Hebrew scriptures to do it. It's a kaleidoscope of images that layer on top of each other to evoke what is to come. And the first one he starts with is a city. This is verse 2. He says, "And I saw a holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband." In chapter 19, we just talked about how the people of God are the bride of the Lamb. This is the marriage of the Lamb that's happening right now. "And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, 'Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more, neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away.' And he who was seated on the throne said, 'Behold, I am making all things new.'" I am making all things new. We start with this image of a city, and John spends most of the rest of the chapter exploring what this city will be like with all of these images and descriptions. And by the time you get to around about verse 15, you might start to feel like, hang on, John, why are you giving me the dimensions of the city, right? He's pointing us back to Old Testament passages like ones we find in Ezekiel, where Ezekiel's measuring the temple, or the measurements of the tabernacle in Exodus. I don't know about you, but I read the dimensions and I think, John, if you're telling me about what paradise will be like, I don't much care how long and wide it is. I just want to know what it will be like, right? But these dimensions are symbolic. He's pointing us to something with the dimensions. They all work out to roughly 1,500 miles each way, length, width, and height. So it's a 1,500 mile cubic structure, figuratively. 1,500 miles, friends, I love this so much. 1,500 miles square was roughly the area of the entire Roman Empire, which in John's time was basically the entire known world. He is telling us that this holy city coming down from heaven, that is becoming the dwelling place of God, is the size of the whole known world, aka the whole world is becoming the dwelling place of God. What was once the empire that oppressed people is now the dwelling place of God, and it's a cube. And one of the most important structures in the whole Old Testament, called the Holy of Holies, the inner sanctum of the Jerusalem temple, right? The most intimate place of God's presence that only the high priest could go into once a year, was a cube. Do you see what he's doing? Oh, it's beautiful. He is depicting this the dwelling place of God as a holy holies, and the whole world is the holy of holies of God. He is telling us that when God makes all things new, everything, everybody will be living in the holy of holies of God. We will all be in the inner sanctum. We will all be so close. We will all know God so intimately that it will be like living in the holy of holies everywhere, always, for all of eternity. A gorgeous image, right? So the dwelling place of God, his presence will be everywhere. It will cover the whole earth and fill everything. So the presence of God will be here, but what won't? Mourning, death, crying, pain, everything hard, everything that causes us to suffer, everything that brings us pain and sadness will be gone. I don't know if any of you are Lord of the Rings fans, but it reminds me of a quote from the climax of the trilogy. Samwise Gamgee discovers that his friend Gandalf was not dead as he thought, and he exclaims this, "I thought you were dead, but then I thought I was dead myself." Is everything sad going to become untrue? Is everything sad going to become untrue, he says? I love this quote, and I think this is exactly the question that John is answering in chapter 21. I think he is saying that the answer of Christianity to that question is a resounding yes. Is everything sad going to become untrue? Yes. Nothing will become corrupted. Nothing will fall apart. Nothing will die, including you and me. Everything sad will be untrue, and everything good will be true. The presence of God everywhere will be true. You and I living in perfect union with him will be true. The versions of ourselves that God created us to be will be true. Paradise will be true. Everything sad will be untrue, and everything good and beautiful and right will be all that there is forever. There's maybe not as many specifics from John as we would like. It's not concrete, it's imagery. And we might wish for more specifics of what we can hope for, but when I think about this idea of everything sad becoming untrue, and of living in the metaphorical holy of holies with God forever being true, that sounds like paradise to me. I cannot imagine a better hope to hold on to. For us and for first century Christians, can you imagine how much hope this offered to people in Ephesus and Sardis and Smyrna and all of those cities where they are facing the Roman sword and martyrdom? What better hope could there be than this? Better hope could there be for you and I as we face the brokenness of our own lives and our own world? I hope that this image will stay with you. I hope you let this poetry work its way into your heart. I have loved going through Revelation with you. It has been hard and it has been good. And I just want to say thank you for being brave enough and committed enough to go with us on this journey. I hope that it has moved you and changed you like it has changed and moved me. Everything sad will become untrue, and everything good and right and beautiful will be all that there is. So, we have one more day left. Alex is going to wrap this whole thing up tomorrow. And until then, till our next plan, take care, friends.